Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. This is Gianni DePocia, your host, and we're back in the regular cockpit after a very exciting and successful investment retreat weekend in Troy, Michigan. So I want to take a look at some charts with you. We have a very important week coming up. We have the Fed rate decision set to happen. And from a geocosmic standpoint, this past week, we had Venus ingress into the sign of Leo and oppose Pluto on the same day. Stocks have done pretty well despite that transit. Over the weekend, we're going to have Pluto retrograding back into the sign of Capricorn, and on the same day have Mercury ingress into the sign of Gemini, and then have a square aspect between Venus and Jupiter. So we're in a pretty intense time band. And, if we even look at the week ahead, we have Sun square Neptune. I'm wondering if we get a higher than expected inflation report, especially because the CPI reading is set to be released the day before the Fed chair meeting. So we'll have to see how that unfolds, but we continue to see the NASDAQ lead the market higher on the back of the AI craze. Astrologers have been talking for a while about, Pluto and Aquarius and Gemini set to go, or Uranus set to go into Gemini in 2025, 2026. And we're starting to see the early rumblings of that trend emerge in the market now. So this has propelled tech stocks higher than NASDAQ at its highest level in several months. And it's looking pretty bullish to finish off the week. But we know that a reversal period is coming up. So we need to be on alert for a reversal back lower. Let's take a look at 10-year Treasury notes. I don't think that the bond market is all convinced so far that inflation is over. If we saw the 10-year yield start to drop measurably, I think that would be a sign that inflation is cooling off. But so far, we've seen a massive multi-month consolidation. I even want to take a look at the home building index. This is a ETF that we cover in the MMA monthly cycles report. We saw it rally to a new multi-month high. This is contrary to all the calls for an imminent real estate collapse this year. I don't think you'd be seeing home building stocks rally to multi-month highs if real estate was about to collapse. But we'll see how another round of potential interest rate increases, how that might affect the real estate market. Let's take a look at GDX, the gold mining ETF. Down on the week so far, forming what could be another lower high. So we'll have to monitor that closely. We know that gold tends to not like Jupiter aspects, and we have one unfolding over the weekend with the square between Venus and Jupiter. So just need to be cognizant of that right now. I'm going to take a look at the dollar ETF. I would ignore this candlestick here. That looks to be an anomaly of, or I should say the bar here. That looks to be an anomaly of some form, but stabilizing, down on the week, but stabilizing on its decline. I think we have to be on alert for Fed Chair Powell's comments next week, as well as the CPI numbers. And if CPI comes in hotter than expected, I would look for the dollar to continue its bull run since we've had over the last several months, with the exception of the correction between September and February. Let's take a look at crude oil USO, the crude oil fund. A really wide trading range this past week. We gapped up on Monday. Faded into that. We were down pretty hard on Thursday, but rallied off of that. And so I would look for crude oil to be highlighted in the coming week, especially because we're going to be in between that Venus-Jupiter square and Sun-Neptune square on the following week on the 18th of June. So the last market that I wanted to look at you with today is Bitcoin. Still range bound here. We've talked about where we are in various long-term and intermediate term cycles. We especially dove deep into that conversation during last weekend's investment retreat, but that's going to impact the direction of prices over the next several months. So if you want to know more about that, you can either check out our reports that are available at www.mmacycles.com, or the recordings are available for the investment retreat as well. But basically, we are above support in the $25,000-$26,000 area, but below resistance in the 28.5 area, 28,000 that is. So in that range, it's kind of a neutral market. So we have to be patient and see what is going to be the geocosmic signature that causes Bitcoin to break out of its trading range. So that's what I had to share with you this week. Thank you so much for watching. Just want to remind all of our viewers that the monthly cycles report will be published on Monday and Tuesday. That is MMA's flagship report. It's been written for over 40 years now. So definitely check it out. Stocks, bonds, commodities, currencies, the whole 9 yards. So thank you so much for watching. Check us out at www.mmacycles.com, and we'll see you same time, same place next week.